Snow doesn't fall at SnowPeak. It moves sideways, driven hard enough to feel purposeful, stripping heat from exposed skin and patience from anyone who mistakes the mountain for scenery. Up here, weather isn't atmosphere, it's pressure. Colonel Elite studies the facility without urgency. SnowPeak doesn't dominate the terrain because of its size. It dominates because of how long it has been allowed to exist, without interference. Structures like this don't announce danger. They normalize it. The team settles around him as a single shape, not a collection of individuals. No one speaks. They don't need to. This is where movement stops being physical and starts being deliberate. Elite understands immediately that the building is aware of them. Firefly confirms it from above the storm. Systems that should be dormant are active, not loudly, not recklessly. Active in the way a mind becomes alert when it realizes it's being observed. Elite commits them forward. They choose the entrance that expects obedience rather than attention. The kind of door meant for people who plan to leave quietly or not at all. The moment before the breach stretches, not because anyone hesitates, but because timing matters more than speed. The breach is controlled. No spectacle, no wasted force. Inside, the storm ends at the threshold. The air changes character. Cold becomes regulated, mechanical. The building hums with residual intent, systems sustaining themselves long after their original purpose should have expired. Elite tightens discipline and moves them in. The corridors are empty in a way that feels rehearsed, clean, orderly, expectant. Empty spaces aren't neutral, they are choices. Something flickers at the edge of perception, a contradiction, a reflection that doesn't quite commit to reality. It appears, vanishes, then reappears just long enough to suggest intent. Elite does not rush interpretation. That decision saves them. The first hostile engagement arrives without warning, measured, precise, designed to exploit timing rather than overwhelm. The formation absorbs it without panic. Elite freezes movement instantly, denying the structure what it's testing for. A counter is applied, immediate, disciplined, final enough to force disengagement. Firefly's assessment comes in steady and grim. This wasn't an ambush, it was a probe. Elite presses on. Deeper inside, the facility begins to tell its story. Security personnel are present but incapacitated with care. No chaos, no desperation. Whoever passed through here did so methodically, with time and intention. This wasn't a raid, it was preparation. Firefly accesses buried schematics and confirms what Elite already suspects. Beneath SnowPeak is a structure designed to change itself, not defensive corridors, adaptive corridors. Elite orders descent. Below, the environment stops pretending to be neutral. Sound carries incorrectly. Temperature refuses to stabilize. The building is no longer hosting them, it is reacting. The surface beneath their boots responds to pressure and heat. Movement generates feedback. Stillness becomes resistance. Elite closes spacing. Physical proximity becomes policy. The facility attempts to separate them through geometry that feels almost polite. Corridors lengthen, angles misalign, distances lie, but separation never occurs. Elite denies the structure its lesson. They reach the core access. Firefly confirms active systems that should not exist. Whatever SnowPeak has become, it was never meant to be this. At the center stands a boundary that does not behave like an object. It reflects action with delay, imitates presence without accuracy. Elite recognizes it immediately, not a surface, but a process. Firefly warns that interaction wouldn't injure, it would change. Elite orders the infrastructure stripped away instead of striking the illusion itself. He doesn't fight what the building wants him to see. He removes its ability to exist. A second hostile presence manifests, efficient, controlled, adaptive. It doesn't rush, it tests. The team responds as a system, not as individuals. Pressure is applied where timing breaks. Lanes are denied. Space is constrained. The hostile withdraws when adaptation becomes too costly. Firefly's voice tightens for the first time. The system is attempting to complete a learning cycle. If it succeeds, SnowPeak will no longer be a place. It will be a method. Elite ends the lesson. The detonation is internal and surgical. Power collapses in sequence. Synchronization fails. The boundary fractures and loses coherence. Elite orders exfiltration. They move without haste. Speed is unnecessary when control is intact. The building attempts one final distortion, but it no longer has leverage. A last pursuit is attempted and denied. The team exits into the storm intact. Elite allows himself a single glance back. From the outside, SnowPeak looks unchanged. Lights steady, walls silent. Structures that dangerous never advertise failure. Firefly records a brief anomaly on the exterior feed. A contradiction, a residual signal. She saves it without comment. Elite signals withdrawal. They disappear into weather that doesn't care who won or what was learned. Behind them, SnowPeak remains. Not defeated, denied. Somewhere inside the mountain, a system that tried to learn discipline encountered it instead. That matters, because next time the engagement won't be accidental. It will be intentional, and FUBAR will already be there.